A different look.
Look at this. Look at this
but I
mood
like
lighting.
it. It's a little moody.
I'm excited about the mood lighting.
It's a little less in your
like
face.
You're dressed up here.
No, you're fine. Welcome.
Ooh, look at that.
I feel like I'm not necessarily in the right position, but it's fine.
Wow.
Episode number 1.
Is that what it is?
It is episode number 1. And we're thrilled everyone is with us. Yeah, no, this is going to be an opportunity for us to sit back in our chairs.
Good.
Have a conversation. Talk a little bit more in depth about not only what is happening in the market or happened this week, because wow, what a week for the overall market. But even, Sean, get into some ideas possibly going into next week and talk about the market from a different time frame, a different standpoint. Again, just housekeeping right out of the gate, guys. This is going to be released on a weekly basis on Saturday morning, wide. If you normally get your podcasts on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever you want, we will be there with this. So,
you know what I want, Brendan, though?
Yeah, go for it.
I want a podcast mic because I feel like, we're not in the game yet until we get one of those. What do they call those mics? Those radio mics?
You know what the problem is with that?
I feel like those are really cool.
There's 2 problems with that. One is cameras get
in the way.
It starts to block shots and it doesn't look the greatest.
This mood lighting.
I mean, we have some of the best quality audio equipment that you'll ever get in a studio that we're using not only for this, but for the live show. There's so much to get to. So let's jump right into
let's do this, man.
A few interesting things that happened this week. If you're watching the market on Friday, late on Friday, one of the biggest headlines, I think, of the week potentially comes out within the last hour of the trading session, and that is on Microsoft and OpenAI. Out of nowhere, there was 0 rumblings.
We were not expecting
of this happening. There was 0 talk of this happening, but out of nowhere, Sam Altman, hit the road, Jack. You're done as CEO of OpenAI. Mira Murati, who is an absolutely brilliant human being, in my opinion. I've listened to her a lot. I've seen a few episodes of other podcasts with her in it. There's a great interview on Bloomberg that they did actually at the headquarters of OpenAI with her. So, I mean, is this even a thing at this point? Like, do we need to?
You know what? I mean, OpenAI is privately held, right? So we can't really trade it as far as a stock is concerned. But I just take what you said there. If you're replacing somebody of that stature with somebody that is equally or potentially even better at that job, then I like it, right? We saw Elon Musk step down with Twitter. Put in Linda Yaccarino, I believe her name is, into that spot. Some people like that, some didn't. But for me, if I'm an investor in Microsoft, I have the chart up here if you want to come to it really quickly. I almost think it's a buying opportunity. Microsoft's been really super strong. We know that they have that investment in OpenAI. So for me, I think it's fine. You're going to get corporate shakeups, Brendan, and I think that that's just something that's going to happen. We saw Disney with Bob Iger stepping down and coming back. We've seen Starbucks with Howard Schultz, the same kind of thing. So for me, look, Brendan, is AI a part of our future?
Absolutely.
Right. So if that's
early days.
Exactly. And if that's going to be part of the case, then let's go. I mean, for me personally, I would buy OpenAI on any dips if we could. C3 AI.
Microsoft.
Microsoft is the only possibility. But we saw Google also take off. So I just think that the AI realm is what we're doing. Well, obviously, we have to wait for November 21st. That's when we'll get NVIDIA. And I think that's going to spark a lot of noise as well in the market. You might be hearing some noise in the background as we're still on the trading.
It's Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon, and a lot of good trades off this kind of news. And if anything, Brendan, it brought volatility back. The last 20 minutes on a Friday. We're happy to have that. Any plans tonight?
Not terribly exciting, no.
Yeah. I have
what about
kids.
you?
Yeah, my kid's coming back from university, so maybe go out for dinner or something like that. We'll figure that out. The kids had a day off today, so Anyways, added some spice there to the end of the day. I say buy dips on AI companies.
A couple of interesting details that came out of this. This is the actual press release that came out from the actual company, and in here they point to. The board lost confidence in Sam Altman. And it's interesting to note that the chair of the board, Buckman, I believe is his name, also leaving. So stepping down as chair of the board. So the CEO, chair of the board, gone.
I wonder.
In a Friday afternoon, this is obviously planned. They have to do it before the end of the week, obviously, or Monday morning, I guess would be the next opportunity. But
I just wonder.
It's an interesting look.
Are they trying to go public? You know, and maybe they need a better face to bring, to do sort of the roadshow.
Right.
You know, you have that roadshow going through, and you want to go out, find those investors. Maybe just Sam Altman was too well known. Maybe there's just too many variables there. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about the individual, but I think that if they're going to replace it, what was her name again?
Mira Murati.
Right. So.
M-U-R-A-T-I.
Yes. Oh, there we go. See, no matter what happens, Mira Murati was the name there. I just feel like if she's going around on podcasts and sort of talking AI, I feel like that's smart, man. That's going to be good. I like that for OpenAI. We can't invest in it, but hey, management changes happen quite often, and I'm happy to say I don't think it's dramatic enough to worry about it.
And look, it's a great point in that maybe there's more to come.
I was going to see what C3.
More to come with not only OpenAI, but more to come with.
Would you invest in that IPO if they did?
OpenAI?
Yeah.
I think from a higher standpoint, there's going to be more than one final winner at this. It's not going to be a Apple versus Google thing. Or a Microsoft versus Google thing, or an OpenAI versus Google thing. There's going to be more than one product. There'll be an AI for your office use. There'll be an AI for your cell phone use. Like, there's going to be many, I feel, and because of that, too early for me.
I mean, look at the market cap rate here on C3 AI. If you come over to my screen quickly here, Fabian or Ramin, 3.36 billion market cap. It's not huge.
No.
So to your point, so much more room to grow with all of these companies. I would invest in there maybe a little early. We saw ARM start to pop up again. Mobileye's been a good IPO as well, spun off from Intel. So,
and I mean, it's interesting to bring that up. That's not even, I mean, C3 AI, I don't even know if anyone actually understands what that company does.
I have pretty much zero clue. As well. So,
but the ability to potentially maybe be a player. All right, let's keep going. A ton of things, obviously, as we headed through the week, affected the market. One of those was the most positive CPI print we have had to date, period, across the board, that led to one of the best days for the overall market in as long as we can remember. That is a very long-term chart of inflation. So this is what happened, as we all very much know and can feel in our pocketbooks, going back to the summer of June of 2022. We get to, the peak up there, 9.1% in the US. We've since then come all the way back.
What? I didn't know it got as high as 9%.
Yeah, to 3.2. And remember, that's down. So we had that little bounce up to 3.7 again, and that's down. 3.2 comes this week from 3.7. So a lot of people were expecting 3.3. I saw 3.4 from a few places. If you take out food and energy, it was down even more. So we're finally seeing things moving in the right direction. The market obviously reacting accordingly.
Yeah, and I mean, I made a couple notes here about this, and I think that it just goes back, Brendan, you've heard it for a very long time, and so have I, and it's just a statement of don't fight the Fed. I mean, once we realized back a couple Thanksgivings ago that the Fed, one Thanksgiving ago, I guess, as we're approaching the new one, that the Fed was going to start to raise. And you saw what it did to the markets. Yeah. It absolutely crushed them. And now we're getting that feeling again, not the feeling, and I'm going to show you the Fed rate tool in a second, that they are not going to raise anymore. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know about you, but let's come over to the screen right now. And I know some of you are going to be consuming this, via visually or audio. So I'll talk about it a little bit. In December, so the next rate hike coming up right now is 100% chance of nothing. Yeah. It doesn't even go either way. There's no cut, there's no raise. January, it's the exact same thing. So the next two meetings, there's nothing there. And then in March, you're like, okay, maybe in March, well, there's the cut. Now we're at a 30% chance for a rate cut in March, let alone May. Now you're down 50 basis points with a possible chance there to 475.5. And then as it goes, and it's so funny to see that some traders overthinking things. Yeah. We talked about this, and I actually sent a message to my father, and it was like once we saw the Fed We heard Powell speak. We see the numbers. And I was like, you know what? The market is expecting no more rate hikes. It's time to start buying some assets, right? Yeah. Whether or not you want to buy gold, whether or not, even Bitcoin. I mean, you see that move 26 up to 38 and still moving around. The funny thing about all of this is, Brendan, there still is some mixed messages there on Wall Street. And even the smartest of the smart, Goldman, predicting no cuts until Q4 of next year. So we just showed what the market was expecting in March for a cut. Goldman says none until Q4. Morgan Stanley, Brendo, says none until the beginning of next year. Or sorry, the middle of next year, June. Yeah. Both ways targeting around 3%. So I think that if we can get interest rates back lower, what sector would you be thinking benefits the most out of all of them?
Oh, man, I want to talk about real estate here in a second, but I mean, initially, right out of the gate, you have to say tech.
I was going to say tech. I was sort of leading towards our real estate as well there. Yeah. And we will get over that. But yeah, I'm just even thinking for myself. Yeah. Like if I wanted to get into a new home, I'd have to refinance. Yeah. And when you're talking about 20-year highs in mortgage rates, everybody.
And it's not even, I mean, we're nowhere near what they are, you know, our friends south of the border. I saw a posted rate on my way here today that was 5.75%.
Fixed.
Yes, for 5 years. We do it a little bit differently in Canada versus the US where it's much longer term.
Yeah, you can only go max 5.
You know, they're 8.5, 8.6 even nasty. At this point for mortgage rates. So
and our prices have held up.
Big time.
In Canada.
Especially in Toronto.
Toronto, I should say. I should say Canada specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, to that point, I mean, look at DHI. You know, DR Horton here. Just look at what this stock, Brendan, this stock is up 30% in 2 weeks. You know, so the real estate, you know, now that people are going to be able to afford homes again, let's go back to the builders. Yeah. You know, we have KHB as well, the home builder, or is it KHB? No, it's, what is the home builders ETF here? I got to go find that. Because we talk about it all the time. These ETFs, you know, get some Toll Brothers, TOL, KBH.
Lennar is another good one.
Lennar, like, look at the chart here. Look at Toll. Took out the high. You know, so a shout out to JC. We had JC on, Michael Noss, a few people, Brian Shannon. Look at this bounce off the 200 period. You know, clean bounce up there. Then you get the rhetoric, and it's straight to the upside. I like this, and you know what else I like, actually, Brendo? The IWM.
Those little small caps are back in motion.
I mean, well, you know, who do you think is going to benefit? You know, they're the ones needing to borrow money. Yeah. They're the ones needing to repay some of these loans. I like the IWM. The IWM, everybody, is actually one of the only indexes still below its 200-day moving average. Yeah.
So and I mean, some would say rightfully so, but I think, like I said, it's early days from the sense that there's a long way to go. First of all, they're not going to go, you know, from 5.5, 5.25 to 5.5 right back to 3, 2.5, something in that neighborhood. But that being said, they have it to a point now where their main rate is restrictive on inflation. So they've gotten to a point where the Fed funds rate is higher than where inflation is. And that is going to be the key going forward, I think, for the at least, you know, immediate future, in that they can maintain that restrictiveness on the way back down. So if we see inflation continuing to move in the right direction, that's when you'll start to see the cuts coming in behind it, maintaining that level.
I left out a little bit of color there, but both Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs are predicting a 1/4 point every quarter thereafter their predictions. Right. So Morgan would start in June, Goldman would start in October, then they think it's a 1/4 until we get down to 3. So to your point, maybe that's the stopping point. Yeah. Just really quickly, the DXY, I have the UUP up here. I feel like the US dollar also coming back in, helping names. You mentioned tech as being a big winner with the rates. Tech also a big winner here as the US dollar starts to fall back into more reasonable levels. We saw the DXY today, 104. So another good level and another good indicator that maybe things are starting to right the ship just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, it's going to take a while, a lot of work to do for not only the Fed, but for the overall market to, you know, get back to where some of these levels were prior to this disaster that has happened. So let's talk about a few other things. Obviously, we touched on Microsoft out of the gate there on this OpenAI headline, but lots of action with Apple this week as well. When it comes to the overall market, Apple as important, if not more important, to the overall market. One of those was on the wearable side of things, which I actually found a little surprising that, hey, there's one right now, that the revenue coming from the wearable side of things at Apple has gotten to a point where it's taking out some of the other categories.
I mean, that graphic that we have there, Apple's wearable department, I mean, not only, you know, is it adding so much more to sell, like, you're still going to have the Vision Pro that they haven't even released. Like, that's going to come out, and once they get the pricing of that all figured out, obviously they're going to bring it out at $3,500. That's going to be way too much. But we know, the note that I wrote down about this, and I just think it's true. I know you have the Google Pixel, I have the iPhone. I just think it's a run to quality. And I just feel that, like, in today's environment, and I know for my kids as well, it's like when we were growing up, and I'm not mean to age us here. You're about 25, I'm 40 something.
No, we're old.
You know, I remember going to like the dollar store and you would buy like, at that point, I guess, $1 headphones, and then you would throw them out. You know, you would go through things more. It would just be, I feel like now there's a go to quality.
There's an expectation.
It's like, yeah, you look at Starbucks, like people are willing to pay $6, $7 for a Frappuccino. Shout out to Ramin and everybody. You know, so it's one of, I like flat white as well, but I like a good coffee. But the idea behind it is, as long as Apple can keep the reputation of higher end stuff, like this is an iPhone 12 Pro. They just released 15 Pro, and I see zero reason. I mean, we've got the 3 lenses. Like, I see zero reason to upgrade.
Yeah.
You know, you have to upgrade. You want to be part of the cycle. Your battery's going to get weaker and things like that. But this wearable division, just brand new starting. I mean, isn't it pretty cool that if you're wearing your watch, you could just like, what was it, go like this, and it will answer a call for you, or it will read your email. Not only that, how about health? As our population becomes older, these wearables are actually linking in to healthcare providers. Yeah. So, oh my God, you know, Sean's health has, you know, diminished. Hopefully not. But maybe his heart rate's going up. Yeah. What's up with that? Yeah. You know, and it just can give you direct access. And sure, look, there's going to be Big Brother. That's the other thing, right? Are people monitoring you a little bit too much? Probably. Could be the other thing. So you got to sign up for that. You got to believe in all of this. But honestly, I think it's a push towards quality. And I don't know. Do you want to have?
Yeah. I mean, you can show it here. I mean, that is just like, if anyone is listening or just listening with audio, this graphic is essentially showing the market cap of the wearable division versus Dollar General, Starbucks, Uber, Salesforce, Netflix, NVIDIA, numbers. Visa, PayPal, McDonald's, AMD, and Adobe, all of those below. How unbelievable, Brendo. How can Apple's wearable revenue be more than NVIDIA's revenue? Like, these numbers, this is what it is. More than McDonald's? Apple's a monster. Like, I wanted to touch on, just to circle back to that medical side of things with these. Unbelievable. Last time I had a phone call with a physician, which was, I'll be honest, was during COVID. I had one 2 weeks ago. The first question they asked me, do you have an iPhone? Really? And if so, please send data to this email. Really? Yes. So my doctor asked me that. They're already, or not an iPhone, an iWatch, Apple Watch. They're already at a point where they are not only able to use that data, but are asking for it actively. So, I mean, it just adds to that. No, I don't know. Now I'm mad, Brendo. I have to ask my doctor why he didn't ask me for that as well. Send me your guy's name. I'll get you my guy. And number right there. Oh, and to your other point about inflation, everything like that, how's your egg guy working out? I have an egg guy. I know, but is the egg guy? I'm not even joking. I have an egg guy. No, I know. That's why I brought it up. I'm not trying to play around. Yeah. So is it just better quality eggs? No, it's cheaper. Cheaper. Okay. I was wondering why you made that switch. 30 eggs. Yeah. $11. 30 eggs, $11. I just heard that. I just hit the bang right there. Local as well. They come from just outside of the city. So I'm down with that. I mean, I'd be down with that. There is a budding black market for eggs in the city of Toronto. I was about to build a chicken coop myself in the backyard there. It got to a point. I mean, they've come down. Put it on your balcony. Yeah, no kidding. Your neighborhood. It got to a point during COVID where a dozen eggs were $11.
Yeah, I was thinking the maximum. I mean, if you get you get the free run like
organic
from a farm.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little more expensive than that. But you're not at 12 eggs a day.
Oh God, no.
Right.
I mean, 30 eggs will last us easily a week.
My kids love eggs though.
Oh, they're great.
Everyone loves eggs.
They're great. How
Try it for dinner, they say.
Yeah. Try it anyway.
All right.
Let's keep going. Cybertruck talk this week.
Look at that thing.
No arrow holes in the side of it. Shout out to Joe Rogan shooting You haven't seen this?
No.
There's a video clip of Rogan. So Elon was on Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
They went into, I guess, his garage or whatever, and he actually shot it with a compound bow.
But what
Crazy sparks come off of it. There was a tiny little dent in the door, but there
what's the point of doing that though?
I mean, I don't know if it was like throwing back to the whole windshield fiasco when they throw through the rock or whatever it was at the windshield
and a sledgehammer or something.
Smash, but anyway.
But are we buying these Cybertrucks because the end of the world is here?
No, definitely
no.
not.
So that's where I kind of look and think that maybe it's a little bit of a nothing burger. But I wrote down some notes about Tesla again here. I mean, it just keeps on going. I think Tesla's a cult stock here and there. We already know about that. People will buy Cybertruck just because they want the Cybertruck. I'm not sure it matters what it even looks like. I think it looks pretty ridiculous, but at the end of the day, it's also pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and it's
if you're looking for attention, I kind of feel like
it's almost the
not in a bad way. I just mean like
it's almost like the epitome of Tesla. It's like the top of how Tesla you could possibly be if you wanted to be as far Tesla as you could. There was an interesting tweet I saw this week from Trek, the bicycle manufacturer.
Yeah. I think we should be doing bikes.
No, but they had a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
And the tweet was essentially they were showing that one of their bikes wouldn't even fit in the back of it. So it was a little bit of
I saw that little compartment back there.
It was a little bit of it's a truck, but you can't even can't even put a bicycle in the back of it.
Yeah, like there's no cabin or anything in the back there. That's strange to me.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I mean, someone here in Toronto will show up with one, and then it'll be.
Surprised I haven't seen one.
It'll be all the thing, but yeah, no. The point here was the launch date and invitations to said launch date sent out this week, so it's official.
You know what? I think it's an opportunity for them to grow their revenue stream. Obviously, for me personally, though, I'd be more excited. Look, I think it's awesome. I just feel that. People will have an opinion that it's not the greatest looking truck.
No.
And I think that even though, look, I don't think the Model 3, when it first came out, I thought it was pretty cool. I don't really like the Model Y. I'm not a huge fan of the way they look. And actually, to be quite honest with you, some of the Lucid, the Air, the Ocean with Fisker as well looks pretty nice. Some of those Chinese EVs. But I think people can...
Don't even make me bring out the Mega.
No. Ramin is still here. There's no way in hell I will bring up any of those.
The Li Auto Mega.
But I mean,
Google,
if you're listening to this podcast, you know, are you guys out there, you know, hurrying to get this Cybertruck? And if you are, I feel like you have to be like an extrovert, because you're gonna get people talking about it.
It's a loud vehicle. Let's put it.
Right. Probably pretty quiet on the road, but definitely loud as far as what you're doing. Do we want to talk a little bit about Rivian? Because
yes, let's.
As far as a truck is concerned, did you know that Amazon? How many of these trucks do you think the Rivian delivery vehicles are already on the road?
10,000.
We prepped too well. You're supposed to say, I don't know, and then I look smart, Brendan.
The point is,
where's my fit?
The order is, how many is, I think it's 10 million?
Oh, no, okay.
Or 100,000? Okay, go.
I have this number. Yeah, Amazon does expect, I wish it was 10 million. If it was 10 million, I'm buying this right away. I mean, they have to produce 10 million trucks, but the idea that Amazon released, Brendan, was 100,000 by 2023.
Right, that was it.
Yeah, so 100,000 in the next 7 years. And again, these are delivery vehicles, 100% electric, lots of opportunity. They're already 10,000 on the road. Can you just imagine Amazon obviously isn't going anywhere? You know, Walmart's going to have to be somebody as well. They're trying to get into the delivery space as well and offer something very similar to Prime as far as that is concerned. Now, I know that Tesla is working on the Semi, so that's going to be more for shipping and for larger deliveries.
That's kind of taken a bit of a backseat lately. I mean, there was a whole bunch of excitement about that when Pepsi took the first few.
Yes.
But since then, you haven't heard anything about it.
The thing is that what I was getting about with Rivian and Tesla is American companies. So I just wonder if they're just going to get supported. Ford is so far behind with everything right now. We've seen GM talk about their crews and laying off and even canceling that division. The Ford F-150 remains extremely expensive for what it is, if you can even get one.
The Lightning,
You know, the Lightning, sorry, the F-150 Lightning, the electric one. So
I mean, they're both expensive.
I think there's a great opportunity here for Rivian. And then if you want to just talk about stock price real quick, I mean, we haven't done too much stock price talk here. And again, for everybody watching, you know, if you're not watching, we have the chart up right now. This little bottom spot right there at 15, I just feel like a lot of EVs right now are getting hit. You see Polestar near the bottom, PSNY coming through. Look at this, down at 52-week lows. Look at where Lucid is right now, 52-week lows. Everything is really pulling back in. Some of the Chinese EVs.
I was going to say, don't even bring up Lee.
No, I'm not. I don't want to talk about Li Auto, but we do have to get to Li Auto. But look at NIO right here. And then you just look at Rivian. And I just think that Rivian being at 1660 right now, that bottom, we're well away from that, down there at $12. So maybe the market knows something.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there is a future for Rivian.
There's a ton of review videos that are floating around on the interwebs on those vans. The amount of tech in those in those vans is just mind-boggling.
What are the reviews saying?
To a point where it's not necessarily like an opinion review. It's just like, here's the van.
It's like, what the heck's going on?
It's really cool. The screen on the dashboard, like for Amazon workers, for example, this week they opened it up to anyone who wants to buy these things now, by the way. The screen on the dashboard, the workers and delivery drivers can actually log in on the actual screen of the van they're in, see all their deliveries,
timing-wise,
tap the address, pops up on the map, and they're good to go. They also have a facility it's somewhere in California. I can't remember the actual area, but there's a facility that is essentially the size of an airline hangar. And at the end of the day, when all of these drivers are done, they come back to this giant airline hangar, drive right in, stop at a charger, and they plug them in. They come back the next day. So it's only the beginning.
Yeah, no, I mean, and especially in a world where we're so uncertain, unfortunately, about what's been happening in this world. You're a little uncertain about the price of crude, the price of oil, and the thing is that like, if I'm Amazon, or I look forward to it, and I don't know. Like, would you get into like a Boeing that was fully electric? Like, I feel like right now it's easy for us to like these because we're on the ground, but I feel like it's coming. And I was just going to say, now some of these delivery companies, what about a UPS, Brendo? What about a FedEx? What about all this where they actually have to account for gasoline prices? Now all of a sudden you don't. Sure, you're going to have to charge it, and I don't know what the power of electric. Like, what does it cost these guys to fully charge one of these delivery vehicles? Is it $20 as opposed to $80 for fuel? So there's going to be a give and take there. But hey, as a shareholder, I'm not a shareholder in Rivian, I'm a shareholder in Tesla, but I'm excited for at least those two companies moving forward. And I just think they're longer term plays. And with the rates coming down, man, that's going to help out Rivian too.
Yeah, nobody wants to pay 8% on a car loan right now. It's unfortunate, but it's the world we live in. A couple other interesting details from the CEO this week for Rivian, saying that the R2, which is their next generation platform, is going to be available for preview coming up early 2024, which I looked into is way ahead of their initial talk on that R2 platform. But the R2 platform, he has said, RJ, that is going to be smaller, less luxurious, less tech involved, which means less cost, less production problems maybe. One of the things that Rivian has really run into as far as an issue is concerned is getting their cars on the road. So if they have something that's cheaper, more appealing, less costly to produce.
Look, let's just be...
Can we just get to January already?
Let's just, yeah, exactly. Let's just call it like it is. There's only going to be a few people in this world that are going to, and there's a lot of them now, a lot of people made a lot of money, obviously, in the last little while, that are going to want to pay $100,000 for a car. You need that
Ramin just said me.
but wants to pay?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I have a car for you. I sell. No, but you know, I just feel like the more affordable. You know, we talked about Tesla moving into India for production. Rivian, you just dropped that science right there as well. So yeah, look, I'm excited for it. Lucid. I think has a new SUV.
Yeah, there was a few. I mean, do you want to talk about these
80 grand?
These Chinese ones too? I mean,
Do I want to? Sure.
There's a couple that were launched late this week. One from XPeng, one from
You're actually going to show the picture?
Li Auto. It's called the Li Auto Mega, and it's mega horrible, right across the board. But to your point, the Lucid SUV, what's it called, the Gravity, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, around that. They're saying it's going to be around that 80,000 US.
Good, no?
This, I'm going to grab a picture of this, but this Mega is also, when you do the conversion, around 80, 85 US.
You know what was funny today on the show? You brought us a story, and you said, "Oh, you know, the price of it is like 6 million yuan or something," and we're just like, "Okay, like how much
what does that even mean?
How much is that?" Okay, so we'll find out about it, and I'm excited for it. For Li Auto, we're talking about not obviously the Lucid.
I am definitely not excited for this, but here's why.
Yeah, let's see. I want to talk about Li Auto's numbers first.
Like really?
That to me looks like a delivery vehicle.
Like what?
Actually, like take away those windows, and it almost looks like an Amazon.
What is even happening?
What
with
is going
this
on
right
with the
now?
front of that? I mean, those of you that can't see it, the front windshield, like I don't know what's up. Like it looks like a slide. Like where is the, pencil sharpener? Yeah, you're right about that, Ramin. But okay, so regardless of what I think, I mean, I'm not the fashion god here or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination, but their metrics on Li Auto has been pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth talking about.
I
And
mean,
shout out to Sharif. He's been pounding the table on
yeah,
this.
and you got to have belief in some of these names. My whole thing about it is the fact that they are Chinese. And it's not, it's just about the fact that you got to repatriate these cars over here. There's going to be a tax that has to get paid, levied over for imports, exporting. I mean, that's not just going to happen clean. You know, Tesla, GM, Ford, everything that's produced here in the United States or in Canada, we're in Canada, is already has those deals worked out. I want to see Biden and I want to see them get together and figure this out with China. But I mean, I don't know if you guys, I mean, you guys won't be able to see it, but vehicle deliveries, I have it up on my screen if you want to show it for people that are looking at a visual here. This is Q3 of 23. Vehicle deliveries up 105 versus 86. Revenue 4.75 billion versus Q2. These are just quarter after quarter. Increase in revenue, increase in vehicle margin. It's actually Tesla's going the other way, Brendo, on their margins. As Tesla brings the cost of the price of their car down, their margins decreasing. Li Auto's increasing. EPS increased last quarter. Gross margin increase. We just talked about that. Operating margin, not just vehicle margin, operating margin upside. Net margin, free cash flow, making the move higher. So as an investor, every single metric is pretty much hitting on Li Auto. And if you're going to look at the daily chart, you're being rewarded. A great drop into 30 bucks, and then boom goes the dynamite. Like I said, we're not back up to highs yet, but you've broken through the 50-period moving average. And we just talked about how many of these U.S. names or other names that are just down near the bottom. It seems like Li Auto, as opposed to XPeng and NIO, really have this figured out. So regardless of how it looks,
yeah, I mean, it's definitely winning as far as that group is concerned, NIO and XPeng and Li Auto. Let's keep going here because a ton to talk about still as far as the week is concerned. One of those, I don't know, you want to talk about Disney? I feel like Bumble might be more exciting.
We're jumping that far ahead? All right, let's go to Disney then.
I mean, we touched on Tesla a little bit, but I don't know. Where you?
I mean, I have lots to say about lots of stuff, but
okay.
Yeah,
I mean, Disney was an interesting one this week, coming off of earnings.
Is it an activist story, do you think, or were their earnings that good?
I think it has to be both, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers were actually good for Disney, and first time in quite some time.
Yes, good.
And then we get not only Nelson Peltz still pounding the table on this, but 2 or possibly 3, I saw others.
Yes, so I wrote down some here. Nelson Peltz looking with Trian Fund, looking for 2 to 3 seats at least right now. Do you know how much they have invested in this right now?
A lot.
Yeah.
Tell us.
$2.5, got to hit the bang there, billion dollars.
That's a lot.
That's a lot for their fund, over 30 million shares. And Brendan, they were involved in this before. This is the second time. So they were involved back in the beginning of the year. And if you come over to the chart here, they were talking all about trying to find more board seats. They got Bob Iger. It was right into here. They sold out. They're gone. They're back in right now. They got Bob Iger to cut over 7,000 jobs at the beginning of the year, cut over $5.5 billion in costs. And quite frank, that's what they're looking for again right now. As Nelson Peltz coming in, looking to change up the board. They're not necessarily looking to oust Bob Iger from what I can find on here, but they're not happy about one thing. And I'm actually happy about it because as a Disney, I guess I was going to say it's Disney Plus. I keep confusing. It's Apple Plus. No, is it Apple Plus?
I think it's also Disney Plus. I think it's also Disney Plus. It's Apple TV, yeah. But
it's Apple TV, but I think
it's definitely Disney Plus.
Yeah. They're not happy about their purchase of Fox.
Yeah.
And so they feel like there's been some mistakes there. There has to be some accountability. They've got to cut some costs in this. And as a Disney shareholder, the thing is, you've already gone through the worst of it, you know? Like, we went down to that $80 mark. We touched it. Those were the lows during COVID. And if you're going to hit those lows, and I just had up a...
I have it here.
Yeah, okay, go over to the screen now. We can talk about it.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and you see that revenue down there when there was like everything shut down in Q3 of 2020 there coming through. That low, yeah, right into there, that low revenue number. Well, we're well off that now. And like you said, there's been some swoons in those numbers. It hasn't continuously gone up, but they've done well. And look, thank God. And I should say this two ways. Did you ever go to Disney as a kid?
I did not. I've never been.
Okay, so we went, and it was a lot of fun. And I don't know how much it cost then. Okay.
I'm sure it's more now.
But yeah, so this was Canadian though. So my cousin went and he took his two kids, wife, and it was about $9,000. And they were there for 5 days.
Recently?
Probably within the last year and a half.
Okay.
Why? Does that seem low or high?
How many kids?
2. So 4 people. But it's like
for a week.
Yeah.
$9,000.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's insane because if you're going to stay there at Disney, and people that are on the chat here or people that are watching the podcast, you could probably justify. And again, that's Canadian. So that's probably 7 US. You know, flights are not the problem. It's staying there.
Yeah.
It's paying for the food. It's to go there every day. It's like $150 a day.
Unreal.
And then not only are you going to Disney, but you're going to like Epcot, and they have all those other little things that they sort of loop you in there.
Yeah.
And then I can't even imagine, like my kids would be like, oh, I'm hungry, I need an iced tea. Well, that's probably, hungry iced tea, that doesn't want to work. Hot dog, and then they need the iced tea on top of that. Okay, so bang on
one of those.
My kids love iced tea. Like the reason why I say that is no matter what, you know, we do. Like I saw today, my kid had a PA day, so I told my wife, I was like, take him to this burger joint that we really liked. I wasn't sure he's been to. So she sends me a picture. He's got the burger, he's got the fries, he's got the iced tea. Like no matter where we go, we can go to the most fanciest restaurant. Both kids always ordering iced tea. But
what was your choice when you were that age? I was 100% an iced tea guy.
I think iced tea is pretty...
It didn't even matter what time of year. It was like any time.
I tried to introduce my kids to Arnold Palmer's, which is like iced tea lemonade.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was going to say I'm a lemonade kind of guy. I like the lemon. I like the good refreshing taste of a lemonade.
I'm down with that.
But you kind of caught me. I see nowadays, Brendan, people, are they going over the top? Like kids aren't allowed to drink different sodas now. Like we're so hyped up about... Like, I don't think I was pounding back the crushes or anything like that. But, like, my kids don't even know what root beer tastes like. Yeah, I know. See? And I just wonder, like, I don't know. I feel like you're probably drinking more pop. You know what my kids like? They like Gatorade. Fabian, what's your favorite non-alcoholic drink? Orange juice. So one of my... Why is that so... Ramin, just random comments throughout
Orange
the day,
juice?
What's wrong with orange juice?
Okay, some vitamin C.
I'm fine with orange juice.
Yeah, why not?
You like those bubblies? I don't mind bubbly. The lime.
The Bublé's.
Michael Bublé. Shout out to Canada again. Hit the Canada.
Side note, those are great for mixers.
I know they're good for mixers.
Let's talk about Berkshire here.
Let's talk about Berkshire. What a quarter for those.
I mean, just absolutely monstrous.
Where's that thing I
It's 13F and 13G filing season, so we did get some changes, significant changes from Berkshire.
Yep.
I mean, it's basically turning into Berkshire Hathaway at this point.
Yeah, over 50%.
I mean, they might as well just throw it right in the name at this point. It's insane.
Yeah.
I'd like that dividend payment.
You want to talk about, $230 million quarterly.
Okay.
Dropped into your account.
Just cause.
You know, it's like, imagine like I get some of those updates like, oh, you know, you just got $100. Thank you for the dividend.
Yeah.
That's great. You know, 230. All right. The story here that I thought that we wanted to talk about, which I think is the most important here, is the cash that they have on hand, right? And
yeah, I have this graphic here.
Right now. Let's
it's pretty telling.
So where is it in there? Is it 157? Is that the number there? It's in the third or fourth?
Yeah, right here, 157.2. Sorry,
Right.
it's
What was that, Fabian?
long story.
Yeah, we're looking at that. So we're just trying
It's right here, right here. It's how much cash they have on
Fabian
hand.
is getting to on my last nerves.
I don't know what's happening right now.
No.
honestly.
Yeah, he was just saying he didn't understand what we were talking about, but it's cash on hand right there. And the reason why I think that's super important is because, where is this? Here it is right here. So 157. So come to my screen quickly here, Ramin, in a second. You know, we often leave Berkshire out of the conversation, and maybe this is going to be a little bit hard to see. Maybe I can F11 this. I don't know if that makes it any better. No, it probably doesn't. Apple, 166. So the company that they're the most invested in also has a ton of cash, 166 billion. This is cash and investments, so including eligible, maybe short-term financing, GIC, so on and so forth. Alphabet, 149 billion in cash. Microsoft, 121. So we don't have Berkshire on here, but just for stocks. So these guys absolutely ripping it. And again, pretty conservative portfolio, right? It's BAC. It's dividend payers, WFC's in there, Chevron's in there.
Huge position.
It just goes on and on. You know what was an interesting position that they just added? Amazon.
Yes, I did see that.
So
and a lot too.
Yeah, it's only a quarter of their holdings, but Amazon, I feel like that's interesting. It's actually their highest weighted, besides Apple, tech position.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're aiming at the AI angle here with that.
The interesting thing about all of this is, are they going to step in and put that cash to work in a name that we know he's liked for quite a while, and that's going to be Occidental.
We'll see.
So if you come over to the chart here, Occidental is right now near its lows of $60. I wonder if you get some talk now, potentially adding to that position with all of that cash. I don't know. For me, it's a little too conservative. If I'm going to invest in Berkshire, I kind of hold a lot of those names anyways. But yeah, if you kind of wanted an ETF where you believe in it, why not step into Berk B?
I was reading an article, and I want your opinion on this. Sure. When it comes to actually owning that stock, has it gotten to a point where their age is a concern?
I mean, look.
And I mean Munger and
Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
I just feel like, who's the most famous investor of all time? Warren Buffett.
Obviously.
And I just feel that if everybody knows, the guy's, how old is the guy, 96?
I think so.
Something ridiculous like that.
That's right.
So he's already...
I mean, Munger's 99.
Right. I love it when these guys talk Bitcoin as well. That's the best part about everything. But no.
93.
93, okay. So 96 would be fantastic. I just feel like there obviously has had to have already been a discussion about handing the keys over, right? And so, and I think the methodologies of investing is well written, and I feel like you can come up with ideas. Yeah.
And further on that, how much are they even actually doing at this point, or do they have?
They say you get a little senile in your age.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And I can't wait either. I already feel like I'm there. But no, I was just going to say, for me, no. So to answer your question, honestly, it would not be a concern. I could see because it's not a company. Like, they hold those stocks. So if Apple keeps...
It's almost a fund at this point.
That's why I called it. I was basically, it's like an ETF.
Yeah.
So if hopefully, I mean, one of them passes or both, which will happen eventually.
Eventually.
I don't think that hurts Apple stock price. You know, I don't think it hurts Amazon, you know, or some of those holdings. But again, all good things come to an end. And I think the mean age is what, 78?
At this point,
in the United States. So already absolutely hot fire. Wow, what a great podcast.
It's been a wild week, and it's been a wild first episode. So
are we done?
I had fun.
Are we done?
I think so, yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, actually. I mean, I could keep going.
I actually had an idea.
I mean, we're 45 minutes in.
I had an idea of a way to wrap these up.
Yeah.
Every single time we do one of these on a weekly basis. Again, if you're wondering, Saturday morning, everywhere. Watch out for this. It'll be there.
Yes. We want to do favorite things, didn't you?
One key thing. Anywhere, any way, you know, food, a show, a movie, a book,
Keep going, because I'm scanning for something to show.
A car.
Some more, keep going.
A vacuum.
More.
I don't even know what I'm talking about. At this point,
a stove and
one
oven.
key thing. One key thing that could be helping you trade.
Oh, darn it.
Recently.
Oh, I found it.
Okay. I like it.
All right, so I'm showing a picture on here. This was earlier this week. Sharif, Neil, myself, and Brendan, we all went to the Raptors game, and we had an absolutely fantastic time. So what exactly does this mean? And here I am here acting an idiot here as well. Yeah, there's me. Neil's here. Brendan's here. We win. Raptors win. So why is that something that I bring up? Well, we talk about mental state all the time. And I just think that no matter how rough of a week you had, no matter how great of a week you had, I feel like you gotta relax.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think that, you know, we had JC on yesterday, and he's just like, it's a bull market, just let it happen. You know, so one good thing for me this week was to be able to go out for drinks with you, to be able to go out to drinks with Neil and Sharif, and I actually was out yesterday with friends from high school, 9 of us. We went down to King Taps. We've been friends for 30 years. So you come in refreshed, you know, because you've taken your mind off the markets for a while. You know, people always message us, Brendan, and they say, this is such a stressful job. So I was going to say that, I was going to show my kids, but I talk about them all the time. I just think you got to step away a little bit. So for me, one good thing is friends.
There you
Have
go.
friends and enjoy yourself as you go. So,
a way to wrap it up.
No,
you know what? I'm going to go a completely opposite direction from this, but I found I'll call it a tool that has improved my life in a matter of days. Have you ever tried a sleep mask? I'm not even joking.
I'm not. No. Why? Did you have problems sleeping?
Yes. I have for my entire life been an unbelievably light sleeper. I get woken up at the drop of anything.
Okay.
This has, I'm not even joking, this week changed the quality of my life.
Is it like a therapeutic one? Because my daughter sometimes has, and I believe Marissa may have worn them in the past, but there's ones you can put in the microwave just before bed, and it's kind of makes it like, don't put it too, you know, don't put it in there for like more than a minute or whatever it says, but it just, they have like, not rice, but those heat like little beads in there. And it just kind of like
molds to your face. Yes, so 100%.
It kind of molds there, and it just gives you like that warm kind of like.
Trust me, maybe
I'll try it.
I was sitting in your seat, exactly. I was so skeptical. And
I'm not skeptical.
My wife said, do this, please, because
she tried first,
it'll
she
help.
heard about it?
No, she was reading a bunch of stuff. Anyways, Whoop has the best sleep mask you'll ever try in your life. Anyways, that's my one thing.
Good.
I think we did it.
I mean, more sleep is better.
Yes. No, I'm not even joking.
Right.
It has changed the quality of my life in the matter of a week.
Great show.
Thank you, sir.
You guys want more podcasts? This is episode 1.
Leave comments.
This is episode 1.
Leave comments below. If you're on Apple specifically, leave a comment. If you're on Spotify, I don't know, do whatever you do on Spotify. It'll be on YouTube
available
as
across
well.
many.
It'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
More to come. Guys, early days. Leave suggestions. We're going to make whatever you want to see. So thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Brendan, and thank you to everybody for watching. It's podcast episode 1.
In the books, baby.
In the books. Yeah, multiple bangs. One thing we need to add is like intro and outro music.
No, we will. It's
coming. hit them.
It's coming.
Next week. There we go.
It's
All right.
coming.
Thanks, Fabian. Thanks, Ramin. Thanks for everybody.
Bye, guys.
We out of here. Ciao.